David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and now Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs just know when to suck. Back when the Spurs won 20 games because David Robinson was on their roster and they weren't a good team, they decided to sit him for the rest of the season, and they ended up cashing out on a star that brought them 5 championships. This season, they could have very well been solid. I mean, in the previous years, they traded DeMar DeRozan. They traded so many of their stars and offloaded them because they just knew they weren't good enough. Ever since Kawhi Leonard left, they knew it was time to hit that button, and guess who falls in their lap? A 7'4" Frenchman who plays basketball just about as good as any prospect we've ever seen. And when it comes to the Spurs, they do not strike out when it comes to their opportunity at the number 1 pick. Every single first overall pick that they've had, which is only 2, they have hit on. Not only that, have they hit on these picks, but they've loaded their teams up with depth and star players around their number 1 overall picks to make sure that they have the best chance of winning for as many seasons as possible. Victor Wembanyama just got drafted to the best situation he could. Imagine Victor Wembanyama go to the Detroit Pistons or the Houston Rockets, who are both dumpster fires of organizations who can't put a winning team on the floor to save their life. If it wasn't for James Harden, the Houston Rockets have no winning history after Hakeem Olajuwon. Victor Wembanyama went to the most winningest franchise in the last 20 years, and now he gets to do it with the best coach in the league. In this video, I will tell you the 3 big reasons why the Spurs will win big with Victor Wembanyama. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, and we already know why this is the first reason for why the Spurs will win big with Victor Wembanyama, is the Spurs are known for winning. They know how to win. They've done it so many years. In 2014, when they had a redemption team to try and go beat the Heat, they put together a team that didn't have one superstar, and they made the Heat look foolish in the finals. That's how good they were. The Spurs know how to win, and they know how to do it consistently. So Victor Wembanyama, not only will the Spurs bank off of Victor Wembanyama, but Victor Wembanyama's legacy will already hit a boost because he will win championships in San Antonio. There's no doubt about it. Just because of how the organization is run makes Victor Wembanyama so lucky that he got drafted to the team. Now let's get into the second reason why the Spurs won big with Wembanyama, and that is Gregg Popovich. Now we know Gregg Popovich is older than everybody's grandpa at this point. He is dirt old. But if you were to look at how good he is, not only as a winner, as a guy that sets an example for the rest of his team by coming in on time, by doing well, by coaching like he should be. Not only that, Popovich is very in the loop with current politics and saying what he wants to say. But if you want to look past all of that, Gregg Popovich, yes, the hothead in the locker room, was voted the coach that every player wants to play for per The Athletic. He not only was the coach that everybody wanted to play for, but by a wide margin. 25% of players want to play with Gregg Popovich. You know, the craziest thing to me about that poll is right now, in a sense of where every player wants to have their own identity and have freedom and all these things, Gregg Popovich, a very team-first coach who really puts it on his players and really keeps his expectations high, is the coach that everybody wants to play for. It doesn't line up. Because, you know, no player wants to play for Tom Thibodeau because of how toxic he is. But with Gregg Popovich, it's a different type of toxic. You know, Gregg Popovich is bringing you winning and bringing you development. He develops every single player that he has. Keldon Johnson would not be in the state that he is right now without Gregg Popovich. Same as Devin Vassell. Same as every other player on their roster that went from average to above average. For the third and the biggest reason is the Spurs have so much draft picks and so much cap space right now. They don't even have to spend it on anybody right now. They can take another off year saying that, you know what, our team is not 100%, so we don't need to go all the way in, and then wait a few years for when free agency gets very juicy. In that DeJounte Murray trade where they got like 5 first-round picks from the Atlanta Hawks, imagine what they can turn those first-round picks into. Imagine if Victor Wembanyama has one of the greatest rookie seasons ever, then continues on his way in the next season, and they decide, you know what, it's time to trade for a star. And you know who's on the market right now? Damian Lillard. Luka Doncic if his team doesn't keep it together. There's a lot of stars that can be on the market. The fact is, for you to win the draft as one of the best organizations in basketball, you are doing yourself a solid. Not only are they one of the best organizations in basketball, but they're the organization that everybody else tries to be. You know all these other head coaches around the league? I'll put them on the screen. Here's some head coaches around the league who were just picked off of the San Antonio Spurs bench, because that's how good Gregg Popovich is, and that's how good the San Antonio organization is. I'm pumped to see what Victor Wembanyama can do. I'm not a Spurs fan because the Spurs have been beating up on the Nuggets ever since I've been a Nuggets fan. But it's going to be cool to see a 7'4" guy move like he's Derrick Rose. Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Hey, come on, I got a bag on me. You try to take it, leave you stinking like your last homie. She kinda cakey, little baby, put that ass on me. But I ain't that horny, do you got some cash for me? Why every time you ask him that, bitches act funny? And you keep trying to hold the strap, you won't slap for me. You too happy, I can tell you never had money. Every time you get on live, gotta flash money.